I didn't recognize him at first. It was the sound that pulled me, rubber soles squeaking against polished tile. The low mechanical hum of a floor buffer moving in slow, deliberate circles across the lobby of a strip mall outside Columbus. I was there for a routine site inspection. Regional Operations Director looks more impressive on email signatures than it feels in practice. Mostly it means clipboards, vendor contracts, and making sure no one cuts corners on chemical dilution ratios. But when he straightened up, wiping sweat from his forehead with the sleeve of a gray uniform shirt, I knew. Daniel. My older brother. He didn't say my name. His eyes flickered, recognition landing like a drop plate, sharp, then quiet. I nodded once, professional, neutral. The way I nod at any staff member during inspections. He looked at the floor again and continued buffing. The machine kept humming. When I was 12, my parents didn't shout. They didn't cry. They called it a family meeting. We sat at the oak dining table in our house in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Mom had papers in front of her, tuition brochures from St. Bartholomew Academy. Daniel's acceptance letter lay on top like a trophy. Dad cleared his throat. We can't do everything. They said it carefully. Like they were discussing a budget spreadsheet. You're strong, Mom told me. You're adaptable. Daniel stared at his hands. He didn't object. I'd already heard them weeks earlier through the hallway vent. Mom's voice low, tired. If we're going to invest, we invest in the one with real potential. Dad had laughed softly. We picked the better child. It's obvious. I don't think they meant for me to hear. At the table, they explained logistics. Aunt Margaret in Ohio had offered to take me in. Better public school district. Fresh start. It was presented like an opportunity. I packed 2 suitcases. No one cried at the airport. Aunt Margaret wasn't affectionate, but she was steady. Her house in Dayton smelled like laundry detergent and black coffee. She gave me a key on day 1. You come and go responsibly, she said. That's the rule. I went to public school. I joined the math club because it didn't require fees. I got a part-time job at 16 shelving books at the local library. No one there thought I was special. No one thought I wasn't. The comparison stopped because there was no one to compare me to. Meanwhile, Daniel's life appeared online in filtered squares. Private school blazer, varsity soccer. Business degree at the University of Michigan. A startup announcement at 24. A restaurant franchise at 27. My parents glowed in every photo. We always knew. Dad commented once under a LinkedIn post. I muted them. My path was slower, community college, then Ohio State. Accounting major because it was practical and predictable. I studied at kitchen tables, passed the CPA exam on the second try, took an entry-level position at a regional facilities management firm called Midwest Commercial Services. I was good at it. Not brilliant. Not visionary. Good. I learned contracts. Learned how to negotiate supply costs. Learned that consistency builds trust faster than charm. By 32, I managed 5 sites. By 36, I oversaw 32 across 2 states. The promotion to Regional Operations Director came without fanfare. An email for HR, a modest raise. A bigger responsibility. No one posted about it online. The call from my mother came 2 years later. Her voice was thinner. We're restructuring. Daniel's restaurant chain had expanded too quickly. Investors sued when revenue projections collapsed. My parents had leveraged their house to help him open 3 additional locations. The bank didn't care about potential. They lost the house. Daniel filed for personal bankruptcy 6 months later. Mom didn't ask for money. Not directly. We just thought you should know. I said I hoped they were okay. It was true. Midwest acquired the cleaning contracts for several commercial properties that had defaulted under Daniel's restructuring. Corporate restructuring. Nothing personal. Until I walked into that lobby and saw him holding a floor buffer. After the inspection, I reviewed the staff roster. Daniel Harris. Part-time custodial technician. Hired 3 weeks earlier through a temp agency. He showed up on time. No disciplinary notes that evening. My parents asked to meet. We sat in a chain coffee shop near my office. Dad looked smaller than I remembered. Mom folded and unfolded a napkin in her hands. He just needs a chance. She said carefully. Management. Something stable. I let the silence. There's a process. I said finally. Supervisors need certification in facilities operations, safety compliance training, experience leading crews. He ran businesses, Dad insisted. Yes, I said, not cruel, not soft, just factual. Can't you accelerate things? Mom asked. I thought about the dining table in Cedar Rapids. About investing where it counts. I don't override policy. I said. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of the staff. They didn't argue. For the first time in my life, they had no narrative ready. Daniel applied for the internal training program 2 months later. He passed the first module. He didn't ask me for help. I didn't offer special treatment. We spoke only when necessary, about supply inventory and shift rotations. He works hard. That's the truth. The day he completed his certification, he left the certificate copy on my desk without a note. I signed the acknowledgement form and forwarded it to HR. No applause. No speech, just process. Sometimes I drive past the old house listing online. It sold last year. I don't feel victorious. I don't feel bitter. I feel separate. My parents don't boast anymore. When they talk about us now, they say, our children are finding their way. Daniel still mops floors some nights. Other nights he trains new hires, and I go home to a house I bought myself. Sit at my kitchen table and review tomorrow's schedules. The better child turned out to be the one who stayed. Not because anyone picked me, because I picked myself.